Hello, ladies. Hey, Z, I see you popped in there. All right. I think we're ready to go. I'll give it a minute or two to see if we have any others joining. And yes, Jan, I have adapted to retirement. I've excelled at that. I'm good. Does Paul have his garden ready for the summer crops, Joan? Oh, and if you're watching this as a recording, you might want to scoot ahead a few minutes while we chit chat. Waiting for some others to file in. And you'll have to excuse my tickle and cough and nose blowing. We can't figure out what's going on. I just had an upper endoscopy Thursday, thinking it was my GERD getting worse, but he said my esophagus looked pretty good. They did do some biopsies, though, so I'm waiting for those to come back in a week to 10 days from Thursday. Hanging, hurt my back and stomach ache still. Ah, Z, crap. How did you hurt your back? Hey, Janine. I'm glad you could make it too. Okay. Bonnie. Hello. Okay, we're just going to roll. If anybody else joins, they can join. But so last time I was on, I dyed a bunch of papers. You can see the hues. Then you know they're mine. So I had them all over the place drying. I forgot about them. So they were still in there for 2 or 3 days. The damn black beans started to sprout again, but not as bad. Um, and some of them are really cool. Some of them are But I know I want to do more of this paper with those silver threads through it, because every piece that came out of here is really cool. I like that. This is the watercolor I did at the end of the last one, and it kind of got away from me, as they do consistently. But it's not as bad as I thought. And this is the powder that I sprinkled in the water down here. That came out kind of cool. So anyway, we'll put that on the back burner, right there in the back burner department. So I thought I'd just show you these papers, pick out a few, and then make a collage. Hoping Gail comes on, because I know she likes that for therapy. Oh, Jan, they are. But I've seen somebody, what did they do? Boil some water, put the beans in a pan, like a lot of them all over the bottom, pour the water over it, and let it sit, and then loosely lay your papers on top of it. So I might try that, because I do like that color. It's like a washed out navy that happens with that. Yeah, so let's get to it. I'm gonna open a drawer over here so I can throw them somewhere semi-safe as we go through them. And I'll pick out some that I may use. This is the whole stack we did before, and you guys have seen all this stuff. I just pulled them down here to see if I wanted to pull anything out of there. So the other night I was sitting down here. I went to Shannon Green. Oh, her retreat 2 weeks ago. Oh, cool. Where was that, Jan? I didn't see anything about that. I probably couldn't have made it anyway this soon after retiring officially. What, 8, 9 days now? But that sounds like something I would love to do. I think this year I'm going to bring some jeans and some old t-shirts and paint on some fabrics. And I found a video, and it's been a couple months ago. Of course, I bought the stuff, but they used like a pastry adhesive that's in a little jar that's made for foil. And one of the things that I saw her do was just take a little like a, not a blade, but a spatula, and just streak it down however it went on a piece of cloth, and then put a sheet of the foil over it. And I think she ironed it on. Oh God, that would be good to know, wouldn't it? And then just peeled it off, and then you had the metallic on your clothing items. That was pretty cool. So, I like a little flashy sparkle. Retreat 2 weeks ago, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Oh, I think that's where, hey, Janet, I think that's where Shannon lives now. That's cool. I'm going to keep her stuff in mind because I really like her. So anyway, here's one of those handmade papers with the fibers and the silver threads through it. Or I don't think it's thread. I think it's, I don't know what it is, but I don't think here we go. It's like tinsel, real fine tinsel. There we go. So, but every one of these I liked, no matter how dark or how light that silver still shined through there. I'm going to keep a piece of that out in this. This is one of the pages that was out of that sketch paper pad. It has the one smooth side. Are you going to get Isolde's new book? Already did, unless she did a second book. I think I see it across the way. I can leaf through that if you'd like. And that's, you can see some shadows of stencils. Maybe you can. Over here is like a concentric circle. See that in the gold a little bit there? Very faint. And this is the rougher side. You can see it takes the dye a little bit differently, which we knew it did because of what we've seen with them using it on jelly prints. This is one of Robin's printables I just had printed out on my inkjet printer. So that all that toner liquefied and made that yellowy, pinky green rainbow bit. And there's some silver stencils that came through on there too. But the overall coloring is in my wheelhouse. This one came out really dark, and I don't know what this was to start with. It's got fibers in it. But that's pretty cool. So black beans will, when they're watered down or heated up, they give off like a bluish gray, almost like a navy color dye. Hey, Judy. And okay, let me go get it now, Janet, because I'll forget that in the next 30 seconds. I'm gonna put it in my nose or it's not happening. Just happen to have it right here. I'll sit it in plain sight so you guys can remind me. I just happen to have it. Put it over here. Excuse my tickle, and I'll probably go into a coughing, sneezing fit and have to blow my nose at some time. We can't figure out what's going on. I don't feel sick, but something is crazy. I had an upper endoscopy Thursday, and they said my esophagus looked good, but they took some biopsies, and I'll get those in 7 to 10 days. This is a real sheer piece of paper. You can see how sheer it is. Um, and I had the stencil that Jackie made for me with those, actually the same stencil. These letters are on here in black. And then some of the gold got on it and some of whatever, that might be licorice. Oh, look at the back of it. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's like black on black. It's more visible there because this gold kind of, I don't know, it's kind of visible with the right light on both of them. We might put that in a special place. Love that, but that's not going to go today with the collage with the other papers I've chosen. I don't know if I'll need a piece of black or not, but I was sitting down here, pardon me, sitting down here the other day, and Dave and I were working on something, and I don't know, he got a phone call or something, so I snuck over to my desk and started just stacking some like mini collages out of the pieces that I saw. I'll see where I run across those. That's kind of an interesting piece. There's a kind of crap going on in there. And that was a jelly print on black. So that's why this isn't white. It's kind of that grayish color that leaches that black out of that paper. This was a little piece of tissue. Those are kind of cool. But I started to try to throw some like this. What's this paper called? Whimsy, that handmade paper with the circles on it. I had all kind of colors that came out on that sheet, but I tore them apart and started kind of laying them in place for a possible future collage, just plain killing time. This one wasn't looking so good. But I love how the fabric came out. Remember, this was that off-white. You can see on the tip here what it was, with the black kind of tribal prints on it that I got from Etsy in these strips. And I think this is the blue ink. It was one of those 1670 J. Irvine inks that I used on there. And where the gold came through, it's got a really cool blue. Come on, focus for mama. Oh, well, you'll have to believe me. So I might use a piece of that. This was just a little piece with Robin's stencil that came through in gold. This was an interesting piece. I think this is one of the sketch pad papers. I laid my hot glue stencils down here, and I have no idea where that red came from. Some of it is Janine. However, when I run across one that's pretty clear, I'll show you. A lot of this just has like the licorice ink in it from the spray of Seth's. But where the bean's laid on a piece of paper, it's got the imprint of the bean in like a navy blue color. I think, hey Claire, how you doing? I think I'm going to try next time soaking the beans in hot water and let the dye leach out of them, and then use that on the papers and divide them with bubble wrap and stencils and all that kind of good stuff. This side's not so good, but this side's kind of wild. So over here is one I tried to start putting together. They all got kind of mushed around. Oh, here's a good example. See that little dot right there? That was where a black bean was. This right here. And down here. So it doesn't come out black. It definitely comes out like a denim color, like almost a true denim. And there were some on the back here where they're a little more washed out. Here, you can see the imprint of the bean here on the back. It's raised. I don't know if you guys can tell that or not. And down here, there's one. What's going on with my camera? So, oh, I took my collage apart, didn't I? Another piece of the material. Another one of the... Oh, there are beans here. See these spots? They were black beans. Here, 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 here. Right, those were the black beans. So it didn't really spread out and do all this. It just kind of made an imprint. Hey, Safia. I know. Thank you. Yep, for those, if anybody doesn't know, good Lord. Hang on. Hello. Did you get my last message? I'm streaming. I started it too. Okay, I'll call you later. Okay, bye. That's my knucklehead, Gail. Sent her a text. Last thing I said was streaming it too. She didn't see it. Well, I guess these kind of all fell apart. Here's one where I threw some things together. That's not how I'm going to use them. I was just playing. But I like this one where it's kind of splotchy and some of the white came through and the blue washed out to see some of that turquoise instead of the darker. I like that one. Here's another one of the little circles. Another piece of robins. I thought this was a pretty piece. And a lot of that has to do with the dye and the printable from my inkjet getting wet and coming through. And this one's pretty. That's my pictographs. I can see a bunch of black beans through. Oh, this is the one that's foiled. Hello, lover. Look at you. We'll be using that puppy. So here's a bean. There was a bean. Everywhere a bean. Oh, I love that one. Yep, that one's going to be in the pile. And this one came out cool. I had that round stencil, and it just picked up part of that on here. But the torn edge, and then here it's got a little bit of gold sprinkled in on this side of it. You can't hate that. This was just a little scrap. Some of these I tore up as I was trying to fit together a non-existent collage. Hey, Dot. Thanks, Joe. Give me all these little bits. They're good for something, but so you can see the toner where you get that pink and yellow green kind of combo. That's the toner. This piece is cool. This was on a piece of handmade paper. See the print in the background? That was on the white paper off my kind of natural colored paper. And this soaked up a lot of the licorice spray. And then here you can see some metallics came through. And this is on, I think this is a PM Artist Studio. It's a bunch of swirl. It's like a mask. Doesn't have a strong, a square border. It's just the edge of the swirls are sticking out there. And just that's where that stencil was laid on there. So that's kind of cool. Hey, Vaughn. So they're kind of cool. Oh, here's another one. You know, Mama likes that one. This one's cool too, how it all crinkled up. If only I knew what it was. Oh, you know what? This is a piece of onion skin. But look how that crinkled. If you look at it a certain way, it's kind of like an abstract that looks like there's like a jungle with palms up here and here. And like over here looks like something sort of floral. There's, you know, really odd shapes that came out of that. And I'm pretty sure by the feels of it and the sound of it, that was a piece of onion skin. Oh, and you can see where beans were laying here. That's kind of a cool piece. This, this is that Uguru paper, which I love. But, I mean, it's okay. At the end, when I pulled it out, it was still wet. I sprayed some gold on it because it just looked like it was purpley black. It's kind of cool here where it caught the turquoise. I'll have to keep that in mind next time I put that in there, because that's not cheap paper. That's handmade paper. And let's see. This was another printable. See where my toner did the things over there and kind of blended in here. This was one of Robin's printables. You see some of her stencils I sprayed through. And this was my art foamy that it mirrors one of my stencil designs, but it's an art foamy that had those. I stamped that in that black silver ink on the, yeah, it does, Claire. It does look like batik. I stamped it on my art foamy using the silver black ink, and then stamped it on here, and then the silver shows more than the black. Anywho, oh, I got some checkerboard over here. I don't know what I used as a checkerboard. Oh, and look here, real fine. Remember that real fine layer of mesh I laid in there? If I get it to focus, you can see it. Come on, mama. Sweet Moses. Let's try up here. Let me get up in its face and kind of back out. Sometimes that does it. There you go. See that kind of a linen look to that gold? Let me see if I can get it to shimmer. There we go. You can kind of see it there. That looks really cool close up. Close up and personal. This was onion skin, and this had a stencil on it from PM Artist Studios. And it's one that's open at the top, and it's like a window frame that goes, it looks like you're in a tunnel. I don't know if you can get that effect. Yeah, there you can kind of see it, like you're walking down a hall. And that mostly picked up a lot of the black. This was another printable. Oh, look, there laid a beam that was pushed in. You can see it raised up on this side. Must have been where I had some of the weight on it. This didn't do much, but the pieces that are poking out here that happened because of the toner on the printable look kind of cool. Interesting. This one, yeah, it's all right. I had higher hopes, but it's not terrible. I might actually put that in the used pile. This one, it just kind of made the coolness of the piece go away. I liked it before I put it in there. Who just came in? Charmaine, hi. Welcome. So here's another piece. Oh, actually, this piece was a piece of tissue that had my pictographs printed on it. See that real fine layer in there, my pictographs? And then this is the other piece that had the PM Artist Studio, the swirly stencil on it. You can see it a little bit better back there, sort of ish. But that's an onion skin too. Onion skin works well in this. It gives you a lot of texture. See, here's another piece of that with the silver fibers in it. And you can see some of the regular paper fibers. I don't know if you can or not. I forget what it's called. It's from Blick. But here it's got part of that round stencil on it where that other piece was in there. And I like the little silver bit sticking out there. This is Robin's scripting stencil that I foiled. Right, and that's on a piece of onion skin. That's kind of cool. I'm going to put that up there. Oh, and here's some fabric. Oh, Lord. Let's see. Here's another. See how that came out orange under my, I must have used it on some kind of red paint, these stencils before, because I used no red in this. That's this one right there. And I picked it up, and it was red. I'm like, what the heck was that? But those were some of, I mean, parts of that are usable for sure. That's again on onion skin. A couple beans making their appearance. This was a printable. Oh, wow, the beans really came through here. That's completely raised right there. This one broke through the paper when it germinated. Here you can see. This one came through the paper. Jack and the Beanstalk. You can see where that one tore a hole in the paper where it grew through. Ay, ay, ay. Interesting, though. And this is a piece of onion skin, and you can see part of a stencil with concentric circles in there. Oh, that's the sun. It's a Sunburst one, but who was that by? I don't remember. But then it's got like rays of the sun out alongside the little dashed edge. It's like dashes that make the concentric circle. So it's not really a concentric circle. It's dashes in the form of a concentric circle. I do like the onion skin. I think I'll do a batch with onion skin and that paper with the silvery bits on it. This was a jelly print that it had pink ink with white paint and some, you can see the foil I had put on the plate. It's okay. Apparently I had a stencil down there, but I don't know what that one was. There's not enough of it there for me to figure it out. And that was on the black paper. This little strip's kind of cool. It's got that edge of that circular stencil that was in there. This one, oh, look, there's a bean laying on there still. Bean shell. Lordy. Come down here one day and I'll have them growing up through the rafters. Oops. Damn Wheaties. Tore that piece of paper right off. April! Amalia! I haven't been looking at chat. I've been looking at these damn papers. Nancy! Hello! Welcome to whoever else I missed saying hello to. I don't know what your weather's like, but it's crappy here in Maryland today. It's been close to 90 for several days. And we got a heck of a thunder and lightning downpour rainstorm last evening and then through the night. And then off and on this morning, it's been raining, but not a downpour. Actually, this one's kind of cool. Oh, look how this peachy stuff came out of the toner. But see the swirl? Can you see the swirls that are up there? Like through here and over here. Oh, I know what it is. That's a PM Studio. It's got clumps of areas with just dots in it and then swirls that go around them. No idea what it's called. But that's kind of pretty. The colors in there. Look at that. Looky there. Not so good there. Like in this one. Excuse me. Oops. And that's one of those pieces that came off of one of those whimsy circles. Oh, this was an old piece of paper. It was a printable. You can see the washer kind of shadow in there. One of Robin's printables. And then I stenciled my pictographs over it in gold some time ago. And I just threw this one in. And it's odd how these stripes came out on there for no good reason. A little bit of that linen kind of pattern there in the gold again. You can see it better there, I guess, because of the darker background. But that's really interesting. I don't know what I did. Story of my life. Yeah, that's not all that much. But, yeah, a little piece. It's not a masterpiece, but it has masterpieces within it. Amalia, that's Bonnie. I'm late to the show, Joan. Joan's all over it. But you can see where the image of those hot glue stencils and a stencil, one of Robin's characters there. It's not the greatest. Oh, this one's kind of cool. What is that? That's a different kind of paper. Oh, it's one of those, what do they call that? I used a piece on that collage with the red kind of stripes through it, but I flipped it over so you couldn't see all the other patterns on it. There's a lot of beans that showed up in this one. You can probably see now where they are, but see that silver in there? That's why I recognize this paper. It's a real fibrous paper. Oh, I forget. It's like a mulberry paper, but it has all different colors of blues swirled through this with, and some greens with the silver. So a lot of that took on the extra colorings. That's kind of pretty though. Mama don't hate that. All right, here's another piece. This one was kind of cool. This piece, I don't know what kind of paper that is, but this is a piece where I cleaned up my jelly plate after, hey Nancy, I cleaned up my jelly plate after I was using the iridescent bronze and then spraying it with water. So if you look real close in here, you can see that turquoise background and the gold, the bronze flecks in there. And that's all that was on this piece of paper. So I threw this in the mix, and the edges picked up it's a lot of cool stuff in there. Down here. That's not exactly a masterpiece. I like this side better, but that's what that was, if you guys remember that. This is a real sheer piece of paper that was white with these gold squares on it. You can see all the fibers in it. It's on the handmade papers. I just took a little streak of it. But you can see all kind of different colors, like an orangey, peachy color, the gold, kind of that bluish, the licorice. It's okay. I don't think I'm going to win an award for that or anything. So these are a couple pieces of fabric I just threw in there, and basically it just absorbed so much stuff. It just turned it into a darker piece of fabric. That's interesting though. You don't see much of that print on the back, but this was a, I'm pretty sure that's a Tim Holtz fabric underneath there. You can see all the pattern in it, and then it just picked up whatever paint was thrown at it. And this was a piece I bought on Etsy that was just rusted fabric. You guys that went to Arizona, you might have seen a hunk of this while we were there. It's just literally just rusted bits all over a coffee stained piece of paper. So I just threw a hunk of that in there, and it, picked up some stuff. Not a masterpiece, but you never know. Oh, look, another bean. Jeez Louise. If I tried to grow black beans, I wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, some of them turned out pretty cool, Dot. How long did you leave the art lasagna in the pan? Well, I was just going to leave it overnight, I thought, but then the next day it was still saturated. I think I used way too much liquid. And maybe in the summer I can just set it outside when it's hot, and maybe with the breeze, and let some of that evaporate a little bit more, or maybe at some point try to flip it over. I don't know. And I think I'm not going to put as many in there. I think when people make the packs of paper, they dye, like eco dyeing with the flowers and leaves and stuff in between. And then they bundle them together and put them in a pot and boil them in whatever, avocado peels, cores, or pits rather, or black beans, or whatever they do for coloring. And then bring those out. I think they're a lot more likely to dry sooner because they're just tied together. Or some people I've seen use like metal, like a drying rack, and sandwich them between drying racks, and then put twine or something around them. Whatever's small enough that fit in whatever pan that they have to put it on the stove. But once you take them out of there, you can, hang it up and let the water drip mostly out of there or whatever. And you know who's really good at that is Corey Lynn, Kory. She changed her name of her channel a year or so ago. It's something cafe. Is it Art? You guys know who she is. Art Cafe. She's really good. She used to be on years back when Robin had a few of us on her design team. She was one of, that's how I know or met her. but she does really cool stuff. So let me show Janet her book here before I forget. I'll zoom in. This is Isolde Designs book. You can find her. I follow her on Instagram, and I love it's abstract watercolor. You know, Mama like that. Let me scooch in here a little bit. Even the cover is really pretty. Okay. I've never done a book flip through before. Corey's Art Cafe. Thank you. Art archaeologist, correct. That is correct. So let's get through here and just see. This is the artiste. She is either England, Scotland, Ireland, somewhere in that region. She does a lot of classes now in Europe. I wouldn't mind hitting one of those up if I find myself over the pond at some point. It is abstract art. Here's one of hers with the swirls with the fish in it. They look kind of wavy. She's got a very distinct style. It's funny when I'm scrolling on Instagram, I immediately know when I'm scrolling, I see the top of her page come up. I know it's her stuff. Here's just her supplies. Ink pens, all kind of good supplies in there. Watercolors. I love watercolors. And then she's got a chapter in techniques, explaining how she did. This is what the first style she ever did that I ever saw. And this is what started her out. But look at the details she puts in those with the tiny little lines and dots. She touches some of the watercolors as she goes down the page and paints them. Come on. What is wrong with this thing today? All right, let's just drop out. Come back. See if we can get it. There we go. All the little dots, and here she's got all different things in the bigger dots. Leaves a little white space here and there. There she's got some white on white dots in there. And it's, you know, it's pretty simple, but just the pattern and the amount of it that she does and how she goes from her variegated colors from the same color family, but, you know, different values through there gives it a lot of interest. And here's paint on water and water on paint and paint on paint are some techniques she did there. And different little ways she does her dots and spots and water blooms. A lot of instruction in here along with the pictures. I like some pictures. It's Isolde Designs Creative Abstract Watercolor. Oops, hang on. Oh, I bumped the camera. Isolde Design. You can. I got mine on Instagram, on Amazon. I follow her on Instagram. Then she does all different kinds with just like the rocks, some that touch, some that are separate, and then the ones with the different squares and rectangles that she leaves the tiniest bit of white space between so they don't overly blend among each other. This is kind of cool. I never saw this before. Some of her abstract shapes that she does. I do too. I really love her stuff. And this is kind of a, reminds me of kind of a CC where she did the blocks and did something different in the blocks. But this, it's the same kind of a layout with the blocks, but she does a lot of different stuff that's within those blocks. Very cool. Here's another different loose stripes, she calls them. some she'll drop extra water in. Oh, this one's cool. Concentric circles. You can see on this one how she's dropped some water in and let it bloom. But a lot of little, there you go, in the black, I mean in that blue there, you can see it looks like drops of water added. Very cool. And then the blocks. The rocks, or pebbles, she calls them pebbles. It's really cool how she'll just, and I've seen a lot of people, and I've actually done it myself too, sometimes accidentally, where I want to get something just bumped up there and see where this indigo bled down into this one and went through down into this one here. And the same with this color, came from here, went down and into this blue. And here's some of the ideas of how she decorates those, or doodles in them. I guess I'm not decorating really, but see that with there's the squiggly lines on that one to the right, and the one right there where it's on either side of that blue streak. And down here where she kind of outlined the areas with a squiggly white line. Focus! Sweet Moses. There you go. Very cool. Here's some scallops, or as Z would call those, mermaid scales. I know, right, Janet? I'll have to work on that. And this one's just a freestyle abstract where all sorts of those bits intersect, which is really cool. Circles overlapping rectangles and squares, and you can't hate this stuff, people. Here you go. Here's like a pattern where she's got it laid out before she did the embellishing. See where she dropped water into some of those areas and got that real organic kind of a bloom. It's another colorway. She used, when she started out, she did almost all the blues and greens, and then she branched out. Like here's a multicolored one, stylized flowers, she calls those. And see, she just starts out with just blobs of watercolor, adds water to some of them, lets them bloom, you know, all that kind of good stuff. And here's some leaves. And she does the same kind, you guys can't see that, I know. Same kind of doodling within all, you know, all of her paintings. She adds that top layer of mark making. She does. She does pick really, really cool colors. And I actually, did you see she sold, was it just a calendar or was it a journal? But on the covers of those, she had, they were really pretty. I started to get one, but I already had one for the year. But she had a different colorway, and I forget what it was, but I think it was browns and golds. And I mean, I like that. That's not usually my thing, but that's the one I had in my cart. I thought that's so different and cool looking. Here's some trees, which are just the blobs like for the pebbles with a, you know, a stem drug at the bottom of them. And then each one's decorated a little bit different. And voila, they look like trees instead of pebbles. Oh, this one's cute where she just added the multi-layered little circles in the white space around them, and some overlapping the trees. In the middle, around the edges. It's kind of cool. Botanical pattern. Oh yeah, she did the houses once upon a time, and she shifts back to all the stuff, and then the arc stuff with the fish. Make it look like they're swimming in like a school swim, sometimes in a circle. And then here's like an ocean underwater scene with the rocks on the bottom. Beauty myth. And there's the how-to. Underwater world, should call this one. Oh, that's pretty. Little houses. She uses a lot of different colorways and mixing colors more on the house ones that she does that I recall anyway. This one's like brown and blue, so that's not that wild, but oh, that's pretty with the underwater and then the sky with the moon. Clouds look cool. And all that little details in there. Oh, I like how they ran there. Bloomed, I guess, is the correct terminology. Get with it, Patty. Ooh, I like that one. That's kind of like the sun over the ocean. I like these little lines up in there too, the dots. They're very simple marks, but like look at those rows of the black dots. She's got a really good hand. Steady hand. I'm not reading anything. Just get it. Other watercolor books by the same company that not produced, where they published hers. 3,000 color mixing recipes. Alcohol ink. Watercolor for the soul and watercolor portraits. So there you go. I'm working on commission, so thanks, Janet. Alrighty. Now, where were we? This is one that was laying up here. I must have liked that one. Oh, there's part of that stencil in the gold with the dots and then the swirls around them. You can kind of see that a little bit better on there. Oh, got a little piece of my red paper on there. Okay. That's a swatching. Patty, how does it compare to Anna Victoria's new book, which I have? Shall I do a quick flip through on that one? And honestly, that's the first I've seen inside of that book, and this will be the first time I've seen it inside of Anna Victoria's. It's still crazy. I can't, I'm telling you, still crazy. Hopefully I'll settle down. Okay, here we go. Watercolor textures for artists. Anna Victoria Calderon. I love her stuff. Z and I went to one of her classes in New York City. How long ago was that, Z? I know it was pre-COVID. I don't know, 6 years ago, maybe. That was a fun weekend. We went into the city and went to Gabby's apartment and dropped our bags and went back out and explored around some of the hot spots. And then that night we moved 5 years. Yeah. The next, we moved to somewhere in Brooklyn, wasn't it, where the class was? And we moved over there and stayed at a hotel there. So we were close to the class in the morning. And it was awesome. But talk about somebody with a steady hand. That girl is amazing. There's nothing that she makes that I don't like. Hey, Z, here's your hearts. Yes. Amalia was there. My brain, I'm telling you, it is at this point concerning. Oh my God. Actually, Amalia, you took me to the train station for my return trip. Okay, intro. Ooh, look at that underwater scene. Z, I know this book's a little bit bigger. Let me take you out just a bit. Oh, wrong way. There we go. That's really pretty. But look at these, how those folds of that coral almost look 3D with the way she did the swirls and the lines in them. Telling you. I did make it there in one piece. Left to my own devices, I might still be walking around. She's the one that got me hooked. Actually, I had them. I must admit, I had the, I don't know what brand these are because the label's not showing, but the PH Martin Radiant liquid watercolors, that juniper green, that's one of my favorite colors of all time. And she used that color. I could never read the label watching one of her videos, and I sent her a message and said, can you please tell me what that color is? I don't know if your camera's just making it look so yummy or if it really is. She said, no, it's awesome. And that's one of my favorites. I'll use this all the time when I do the Yupo. Here it is. It's juniper green, this baby. It looks real blue in there, but it's a turquoise that is lovely. And I can usually tell when somebody's using that because it's just a little bit something different about it. I know. I need to get a lot of stuff out. Different brushes, different types of watercolor. And she's done Skillshare classes with a lot of this, like introductory stuff. Like if you're just getting started in watercolors, she really breaks it down and gives you, she did one with all different brands of watercolors. And that's before, remember Z, she didn't used to do metallics. And then we showed up with, I don't know how else to say it other than a shitload of metallic watercolor paints. And she was saying, oh, what's that? Look at that. And she didn't even do granulating either until I was showing her Cascade Green by Daniel Smith and Lunar Blue. And now she started, and she actually did a Skillshare class on all metallic watercolors. Eventually, after that, she really saw the wonders of it. So I'm hoping once we get in a new rhythm that I can stream more and more regular, not just Dave is golfing. He's actually on a trip. But just left this morning, so I'm a bachelorette for a little bit. April, keep your voice down. People are reading it. Most liquid waters, they are buried somewhere. Yep, you do. I really like those, particularly on the Yupo. I'm hearing is Patty and Z ganged up on her. Well, gently, in a friendly way. Look, tie-dye. Shibori effects. Snowy sky. Mossy green. Oh, she's using a sponge in there too. Oh, see, applying it with a sponge and dotting it on the paper. I don't think I've ever done that before. Gonna have to give that a try. What does this say? Oh, she's got this taped here. I guess she's making just blocks to do stuff in. Yeah, it's still taped. There she's doing different patterns. And here it is with the tape off. Xander usually is the meaner one. Those of you who know Xandra know how false that is. Just a joke. Is that? I thought that was a real piece of brain coral. Is it? It can't be, because all this other just are watercolor. If there's any scuba divers in the group, and you've ever seen living brain coral up close, that, my friends, is exactly what it looks like, but not that blurry. Come on. There you go. Those little grooves around it. Yep. That looks like a real photo, but I don't think it is. Nature, calm ocean, a leaf blade, and here's the picture, and here's her interpretation of it. Rainbow clouds, colorful chameleon, coral close up. Oh, okay. Here you go. Here's another type. That's actually a picture. Come on. And if you can, there you go. That one's really pretty. If you dive, or maybe sometimes these are photos on these pages up top. They are photos, and her interpretation underneath. Little tip: if you ever find yourself snorkeling or scuba diving and you make the dreaded mistake, oh, you know what? Here's that picture here. That is a picture. Are they all? Now that's got me curious. Hang on. I don't know. Observe your surroundings and furniture, everything. Some sort of texture if you look close enough. That looks like terrazzo, but these look like watercolors. Well, but here's her. Okay, I guess these are photos of something, but what this is, other than a watercolor painting, I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know, but what I do know is that if you find yourself snorkeling and you see a piece of coral that looks like the shape of an elk horn covered in rust-colored suede, don't touch it. That's fire coral. I got goosebumps up the back of my neck thinking about the first time I made that mistake. But when you make that mistake, if you can find a live brain coral, it exudes a slime. If you can get to that slime and wipe it on where you're burning, it neutralizes it. Just a little tidbit there, a little off topic, but good to know. If you find yourself in the tropics, don't touch the brown rust-colored suede covered coral. Oh my God, every time I think about it or say it, I get goosebumps up the back of my neck. That's bad. Bad, bad, bad sting. Mindful painting. Anna Victoria has done a lot of what is that called? When Papyrus, is that one of the names of a company that she's painted for, and they bought her art to put on their products? What is that called? I can't think of the word I'm going to use. I'm retired. I don't have to think of words anymore. Commissioned? No, maybe commissioned. Anyway, a lot of her works about the time that Z and I met her were going on different products at different lines, and one of them was Papyrus. I love rocks. Zen pebbles. Oh, I like that. Look how detailed hers are. I love that. You're going to be snorkeling after you skydive. Hey, Devin. Thank you. I would love to go skydiving. But as I've said many times, it would take about 6 very big, badass Marines to get me out of the plane. Now, once I was dejected from the plane, ejected, thrown out, whatever, I think I would enjoy the ride. But voluntarily jumping in and out of a perfectly good airplane, I don't know if I got the cojones to do that. And I'm not sure my body type is made for a parachute these days. Oh. Yep, you can pee on it too. Hard to do when you're underwater though. You can have somebody pee on it later, hit it with the snot off of a brain coral first. See, I got some backup there. And you know what else we used to carry on board for like jellyfish stings is a jar of accent, the spice, the MSG that used to be the big thing to sprinkle it on everything when I was a kid. Both my grandmothers had it. That helps neutralize a jellyfish sting. Uh-oh, here we go. Sorry. It's going to take a second. For no reason that happened. Sweet Moses. Oh, Lord. Sorry, kids. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, boy. Sometimes rattling so hard with this cough, it turns into a violent screaming sneeze. You'll be delighted if you hear that. Neanderthal pee neutralizes it. Maybe that's why I was in such high demand when we were diving. It's all coming full circle now. Picture's getting clearer by the day. Here's some coral reef stuff, see? For those of you who may not know what, pardon me, the Neanderthal comment is, you really should know. I did 23andMe a couple of months ago. And, here's some templates she included. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I like this. Oh, look, see? Now I have the tickle for a while. It'll be very pleasant to listen to. But anyway, 23andMe. Sweet Jesus. Dot, you were a doctor. You can hear about urine. It's a natural body process. Keep chewing. Anyway, so that's Anna Victoria Calderon's latest book, Watercolor Textures for Artists. Did 23andMe. I knew I had some German in me. I knew I had some Slavic in me. I knew I had a lot of Irish. Well, I had all that and a bunch of other stuff. Then I had no idea that I was a little bit Italian, a little bit French, a little bit all this stuff, which probably most of us are. But the funniest, most thrilling part was that I found out I was 2% Neanderthal. Which apparently is pretty rare. I'm the missing link. again, it's all coming together. Pardon the nose blow. And it said that so friends of ours did it a couple years ago, and she really got into it. She did a lot of research, and when I told her, she was like, "Oh my God, that's so wild." She said, and I saw this in my app, that Neanderthals went extinct like 40,000 years ago. She said, "That's crazy that your bloodline can trace back that far." I thought, well, Dave said, when I told Dave, he said, "Well, babe, that explains a lot." I said, "Such as?" He said, "Well, let's start with your big head, your big feet." I almost blew the windows out of the sunroom screaming, laughing. Oh my God. We've been laughing about that one ever since. But where the heck's my page? That's just crap I put down one time. I kind of like that one. That was more crap. That was a glue test. That's what we did last time. So, anyway, yeah, 2% Neanderthal. Pretty sure that came from my mom's side. I said, we're a sturdy breed. We've got a lot of good laughs about that one now. I do like how this one came out. I'm gonna have to burn more holes in paper. I love how that crepe paper, black crepe paper, I laid on the jelly plate and put out the bronze, iridescent bronze acrylic. And it just, here you can see a piece of the tape sticking out. It just hit the high parts of the crinkled up crepe paper. And that's what's showing through those holes. I don't hate that. I have just sent off an ancestry DNA to see what it turns up. My nephew is doing it as well. You know what was crazy is, and it just means that I guess nobody else ever related to me anywhere close has done 23andMe, because it gave me, I think it was 5,000 possible relatives. And the most common percent of DNA, one of them was like 5.6%, somewhere around there, which doesn't sound like much, but that would have made whoever it was a second cousin. But I looked at all my known family surnames. Not one of them is on there. Not one of them came up. Now, some people just use initials. I guess they don't want their name known or whatever. And I thought that was kind of interesting. But I did make contact with a couple people who are distant cousins and trying to find out information about one of them's father, who didn't have a common name, but lived in the same area where my dad grew up, which was a very small town in Virginia called Goshen, Virginia. I mean, you ride the train and you see a couple lights and you're through Goshen. But anyway, it was pretty interesting what all it said and what possible health issues it says that I may have over time. And I have exceeded some of those lists. Let's see. What do I want? I need my... What the heck is it? Oh, I threw that jar away. Darn it. I got some matte medium. Z, this is the bottles you got for me last summer at the Hobby Lobby sale. The one I had before the Utrecht one had a big lid on it where I could just dip my brush in. I'll have to put a blob of that in some paper, which is okay. Lord have mercy. This happens to me all through the night, which is a blast. Said no one ever. I'm sleeping on a wedge pillow thinking that'll help. But anyway, let's see. Let us know what you are. Maybe we're related on the Neanderthal side, Dot. $23andMe, it's all DNA, so it tells you all kind of different likelihoods of what may or may not be possible, what to keep an eye on. It's nothing that to me isn't scary, but it's just free advice and numbers, stats that say that, you know, with this combination of DNA, you might want to keep an eye on your heart. You may have, you know, a propensity to have breast cancer or whatever. So, but I'm the only one in my family that had breast cancer that we're aware of. Now, of course, some of the older ones never had a mammogram. So who really knows? But I think, and I don't have the BRCA genes. I've been tested 3 times, I think, genetically. Whenever there's a new gene found, they ask me to do it again. And it was 1% possibility of it being hereditary on every test. So I thank Bethlehem Steel for being raised in the shadows of the Bethlehem Steel plant. I really think this one's pretty. I don't know if you can see the gold sheen on there. And I did use some of the magenta and orange dyes on this pile. Whip through here real fast and see. If the cough offends anybody, ain't a thing I can do about it. It kind of offends me, to be honest. But gee, oh, here's my. See, this is some of the color of where a big batch of. Now this is bubble wrap, so that's a lot of those circles. But there was a lot of black beans. You can see them down through here that darkened that. And this is a piece of Braille paper. That was the first batch I did. This whole thing was the first batch that I did. I don't think I'll use any of those on this go around. Let's see. Jesus. Piece of deli paper. Come on. Work with me, fingers. Oh, that's not deli. That's paper laying on top of the deli. Lordy. I really like that piece with that dial in it and the silver threads. I don't know if I'll use any of these in this. Maybe. I don't know. You don't take center pearl, do you? No, I don't. I have GERD. I've had GERD for about 12 years. And it reminds me of the cough when I first discovered that I had it, because I thought I had some kind of allergies. And I went to an allergist, and he probably asked me 100 different questions, and he said, honestly, nothing that you've told me makes me think you should go through any allergy tests. He said, I think you have GERD. And I was like, really? I don't have heartburn or any of that stuff. He gave me a sample of, I don't know, it was one of the meds then that they prescribed for. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, I took it for 2 days and never coughed again. Well, unless I was sick and had a cold or bronchitis. But because this like hits me out of nowhere. I feel like something pokes me in the back of the throat like a pinpoint. and I'm immediately choking. It's fun. Get some of the stuff out of my way here. All right, let's see what we got. That's a lot of dark stuff. I need some, a bit of brightness. See, I don't want to put both of those in there because that's that same circle. I do like this one. This one's a little lighter. Maybe put a strip in there of that instead of this. I don't need that. So anyway, he said when I took I had an upper endoscopy done Thursday, and he said my esophagus looked good. He didn't think the GERD was any worse. Excuse me. But I see Lily signed in. Hi, Lily. Welcome. I'm telling you, I can't multitask anymore. I don't think. I think of one other thing and I forget what the hell I was saying. Yes, it has been a while. I think this is maybe the 4th or 5th time I streamed since the first of the year. But I'm retired now and hope to stream more. So we'll see how that works out. He said the esophagus looked okay. But he saw some different types of polyps, and of course he explains this when I'm coming out of the twilight, so I don't remember about a third of what he said. A couple different findings and areas that they that he biopsied. So when they come back, that might shed some light. All right, let's see here. Let's tear this in half this way. I hate to say it out loud, but that's tearing pretty nice. I don't know where I'm going to put any of this yet. This is kind of a cool piece, but what piece of it would I use? Not so cool. If I need a little pop of black, I'll go to that one. Maybe these aren't really go together, so that I pulled out of here. That's kind of cool. What if I do like pretty much this whole bit here? Like that. Won't use this one. I'll save that for another day. And then, excuse me, I need a piece. Hang on, where are you? This piece is so cool. I just pulled this out of the drawer. It's so fine and thin and completely see-through, but it's got some, see the fibers in there, and then I stenciled some of Robin's designs over it, and it's got, some of them have a little bit of the gold showing. I don't even remember how I did this now, but it's so sheer. I don't know what I'll ever use it for. I think that's the wrong drawer. There we go. Oh, here's a piece of that crepe paper that I put on the jelly plate with the bronze paint on it, and it just hit the high areas. I found some little bits in here. Will any of these work back? More crepe paper. Oh, there's a surfboard with red glitter paste on there. I always like that piece, but that doesn't really go with that either. However, just for Dot, I work some of this in there. Well, in just typical fashion, I think I'm going to end up going a completely different way than what I thought I was going to do. So much for preparation. Okay, let me get my ruler out here. Angel wings. These with the silver in them. It's really pretty. Lord have mercy. Now I'll do this like forever until that clears up. Get rid of this white edge. How crooked is it? Pretty crooked. I'm going to use that for a little something, something. Just when you think you're going to do it straight. I'm going to try doing it right on that edge. But usually when it's just that little bit, it doesn't cooperate with me. That sounds pretty good. That's pretty good. That wasn't bad. See, what I was thinking was if I stick a little, I wanted to go vertical, but it's not long enough. Maybe I got to go this way. To put this in the gap. So I don't want a lot of this to show under here because it will. I don't mind a little bit of it showing, but I don't want to like shove this whole thing under there and cut it off here. I don't want that much of it showing. But, maybe I'll do this. And we'll just see how close we get. That was quite a ballsy move. I'm not sure if you recognize that or not. All right. Let's see. I do love black and white stripes. I just like to do this extra when Dot's here because she loves it. This is for you, Dot. This is a lot more than I need. Hey, Jude. Welcome. I can deal with that. All right, let's glue that puppy down. Try to see how bad this will be if I do this. I don't really trust myself that much. This is a lot thinner than the Utrecht that I was using for, God, I had that bottle for years. Not looking at the chat right at the moment. Well, stuck up here and I cannot pull it down now. So we're going to have to live with it right where it is. I can trim that little bit off the back of the page there when I need to. I don't know why I like black and white stripe. I just like the starkness of it. So this, I'm going to try, instead of gluing on here, I think I'm going to glue the page and then try to lay it down. Let me just try that. This may be a big boo-boo. I do, Joan. You know, I can't leave Dot out. She loves it so. Oop. It's like watching glue dry, guys. Just have to get over the hump. I think a lot of this looks like it's drying by the time all right, less yakking and more gluing. All right, now since I learned how sticky that is, try to fit that little piece back in there where it came from. Do I have it down here? No. Oh, the dye is bleeding. I should have expected that. Oops. Put that little hunk back in there. All right. Get off of my finger. Ooh, that's really wet. Oh, look, and it's coming off of my hand. As per usual. Okay, let me take a piece of paper towel here and kind of push this down. I usually do more dry fitting to see what other pieces I like along the way, which I didn't do. So we'll see how this all works out. Get off of there. What about a piece of this? Thanks, Judy. Yep, I'm, 8 days in? 9 days in, I guess. Getting the hang of it. We'll wait on that and see what we got here. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, got a circle. I might need a darker one now. This was on one piece of paper, and that's too close to that. That's probably too close to that. Won't really stand out. Here's a dark one. You can see beans. See the bean spots? The black beans. Excuse me. Oh, the tickle. We're just dry fitting. Don't anybody get too excited. Too much alike. That darker piece, I think, is the only one that'll work if I use it. And of course I have, ooh, this piece. Maybe I'll just use one strip of this instead of a double whammy. Jeez, tearing it sideways is not working so great, but tearing it this way was working pretty good, actually. So let's see where we go. Boom. There we go. That wasn't too bad. All right. Let's keep one. That's kind of off the target there. Let me root through my corner here. Yeah. Oh, I got this. What am I doing? See you, Devin. Thanks for popping in. I put that there like that, like so, and let that overlap. I have to glue that little bit in place. I don't know. Do I want a hunk of black in there? I always like a pop of black. Oh, I wonder if I put this over this. So a little bit of that stuck out on the sides. Somewhere. Where are we going to put that? Over this, maybe? I don't hate that. I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit, I think. I don't hate it. But what else do I need on there? Oh, something else. I'm going to do something over here. This is out of the question at this. I don't know. Looking at the in the computer screen, that wasn't a terrible situation. Like some kind of a pop somewhere, maybe. Don't get nervous. I'm just going to sit there and look at it a minute. See, Judy likes my Papa stripes. Thank you, Judy. Dot does not approve. Okay, let's see. Now, if that blends in too much, you can't even hardly tell that it's there. That's not going to work. What if I trim this bad boy down a little bit more? Oops, that was a little too much. Let it go and look at it. Yeah, I don't know. That's not wowing me. Dot. I thought you left, Dot. You're still spying on me, complaining about my stripes. That's all right. Well, how is it that I have all these papers and nothing else seems to work on there? These are just the ones I colored recently. I wonder if I took a piece of these pattern like this and just took a chunk like this and tucked it under there somewhere. Here's this piece with that circle on it. No, that covers just about everything. That's not gonna work. See, all these are like vertical stripes, which I love, but then it's too much. Too much vertical. As Gayla so kindly called me out on last time, which I'm glad she did because I know I do that. What could I use this for as a little pop? A little pop-a-roo. Nothing. That's what. Nothing. All right, pardon me as I rifle through this pile once more. And see, this is well, it wouldn't really go with that, but everything's vertical. Oh, wait a minute. You can see that silver scripting in there. And that little bit up at the top there next to that little washer. I don't think so, but let's put you out there. Desperate times, you know, and all that. Oh, this is kind of wild. This is stuff going everywhere. Maybe I can use a piece of that. I'm just going to see. Oh, here's some more holes burnt into this one. That was the Torch Your Basement project. I could probably take a line of that, you know, horizontal, maybe. I'll pull out the candidates and we'll reverse engineer. I love that piece of paper. I hate to use it. It's fabric. Stronger circular. I think so. I thought about cutting a circle out of something here. You mean instead of this one? Or yeah, because you really can't see that, can you? Now that I'm looking at the screen. You mean in place of that? I could do a stripe circle. Dot really likes those. Yes, instead. All right, I'm almost done this pile. Let me rifle a little bit. Oh, here's a bunch of little bits. Let me put these in the little bit pile. I wondered where they went. I knew I had more. punch drawer. Ooh, that's a big one. I'm going to double this up or it will not go through a punch. I'm not even sure this is going to, but we're going to give it the old heave-ho and see what happens. Well, oh no, I want to see the stripes out the bottom of the punch so I can get her eyeballed up there just right. Sweet Moses, let's see. That's right about there. Let's try that. Oh, it didn't jam. Thank you. Thank you for not jamming. So I tried to punch this one too on one of the... It's kind of an interesting little bit, but I don't think... What the hell was that? Did you hear that? It sounded like a pterodactyl. Something swoops down on me. See, that's still not enough, right? Let's try this. So if these stripes are going this way, let's put this in here this way. Just to really hose Dot up. She'll probably fall off her chair. She's still sneaking watching after she told us she was leaving. Could just say she brought it on herself. Ooh, that's kind of hard on my eyes. Okay, how about... Let's leave that there and maybe throw that in. So just a piece of that shows. Pull the darker side out there. I don't know. What's that look like? You can feel free to speak up. I wonder... Let's try this. Where's my ruler? Well, you know what? This little one here might not make it. I'm going to take that off. All these other ones have English tiny type down there saying what it is, and I don't want that on there necessarily, or that white edge. And this little rascal was hanging down there with no reference like that. Let's just see what happens here. That seems a little... I don't know what I was thinking here. Something to break up this way, but that's not going to work. What the heck? I think my cough has rattled my brains loose. Let's try... I wonder what a piece of this would look like with the burnt holes in it. Trying to capture some of that. There's one up there. I don't know. Let's just try it. What's the worst that can happen? I need to buy more. Go grab that paper with the red, orange, and the glue stencil shapes. She's in here somewhere. I just saw it when I was rifling. Seriously. Oh, no matter what I'm looking for, seems to be like the last piece in the pile. Almost 4 more left. This one or this one. Optical illusion. Oh, you mean to maybe add to this red and put something red up here? The first one. This one? I think that was the first one I pulled out. And are you thinking a circle cut out of this? Just having some of the red in it? Or maybe tearing this one out that is a circle? There's not much going on in there. I can cut a little stripe one and stick it in the middle of it. I'm going to let that sit there. Yes, a circle. All right, I'm going to cut this one just for shits and giggles. I want to see what that one will. Let's get rid of that one. Just for shits and giggles. I wanted to see what the stripes look like through those holes. Sticky fingers. Okay, so this one, what's your vision? Just any random circle with whatever hits in there in the circle, or this one torn out? You usually have really good ideas, but my brain's not seeing this one just exactly right. I mean, I guess I could cut a circle in here and get some of that golden red, that symbol. This whole thing? And just torn out, I guess, and put somewhere. I don't know where we're going to put it. Start big. Go big or go home. Well, the only problem with that is I'm already home. All right, here goes nothing, people. This is on that sketch pad paper. Ooh. Don't get crazy. Get rid of that piece. Replace the circle with the symbol. All right, let's see where we're going. I'm so easily swayed. Oh, they started to stick there. Maybe like so. And then maybe have this. Maybe it doesn't have to overlap that. Ow. Oh, did you hear my shoulder pop? Sweet Moses. Tell ya. Falling apart. That's where the Neanderthal thing kicks in. I'm real sturdy. Okay, hang on, Bonnie. I think this one can go away for another collage. I do kind of like the stripes sticking through the burn holes. I wonder, should I go this way again and just let a sliver of that stick out? I'm just playing now. I don't know if I want to do that or not. Oops, they're off camera. Huh. I don't hate that. I'm looking at the screen on the computer. Come out one. Tuck part of the surfboard under something. So just a sliver of it hangs out. Under the blue. Yeah, that is under the blue. I got to get another piece of this. This piece is kind of looks like it has that what is it called? Periodes disease or something. You know what I'm saying without saying it. Let's see if that'll lay there a little bit better. I mean, I can glue it and make it lay down straight, but it wasn't helping my dry fitting exercise. Something like so. Just a little sliver of that sticking out. I do really like this, actually. Just dry fitting. Don't anybody panic. I don't know. Let me hold it up a little closer. It's a little hard to see. Gayla should be here. She'd be one bottle of hooch in and a partial stroke. Bless her heart. I don't know. What are you thinking? What happens if I pull this down and maybe move the stripes away from the other stripes? Come on, work with me. Now I've got this all humped up here. Gotta eject my fingers. Can you take off the blue strip with characters for a minute? The symbol's really pretty. Take everything off and rebuild with the symbol as your focal point. I do kind of like this overlapping into the stripes here with this curvaceous edge. And that's like my favorite piece. Perhaps for another day, it can be my favorite. So if I do that, I could make this shorter, obviously, but I'm not going to tear it just yet. Is it just me that likes this? Guess it's nice by the stripe. And this is my favorite piece of all times. We'll put this in a precious place. Humped up there with all the other precious pieces. All right, let's glue this down. That's a given. This is still debatable. Maybe I should do this up here. And I can cut, I don't have to have that whole circle. I can kind of throw that off the page as long as I can get some of that on there. So that would come off, you know, you'd only see, well, you wouldn't really see any of that. Oh, crap. Well, I'm just going to let it sit there while I glue this. Hang on. Okie dokie. Oops, upside down. Okay. Move big red piece more to the middle. Oh, crap. That one. Oopsie. Just saw that comment. I thought about doing that, but I liked how it interrupted the curves on those stripes. Let's try something here. Just work with me there for a minute. All right, let's see. I wonder if I put that under a couple of the holes to see the red letters. That's getting a little crazy. And maybe we just do this on top of this. Like so. Oops, something fell. Oh, that was just a piece of paper. It was stuck to the back of the book. Okay. That was the last. That was with the last setup. Okay. What time is it? 4 o'clock. Let me do a quick peruse. Do I need something else? No, that's too much. Too big. Try the soft blue circle now. You don't mean this one. You mean the this thin one. This one. Like instead of this or in addition to? That doesn't really show up there either so much. Nope, sideways isn't going to work. Oh, I forgot about these little bits. It's not going to lay flat, but I can make it lay flat. I think. How about that black strip horizontal near the bottom? This, Z? Let's see. If I overlap that bit. I And then maybe lay this. I like this white showing here on this side. So maybe overlap on this side so that white shows. I think this goes under overthinking. Put the oval red down more. Like to intersect these two? Oh yeah, I like that. I like intersections. Can you see that? No, you can't see it. I do like when they intersect like that. Maybe I push that down so it comes out the bottom there too. Just a little peek. That Minicam logo, I got to get off of there. I got to sign up again and pay for it. And then the logo goes away. Maybe the brush strip. No, I will cut this off. I will cut that off. You mean that it doesn't go all the way up here? And of course, that'll go away. All right, any other ideas before I start slapping some glue? I have no idea how to do StreamYard. You might have to walk me through that one, Z. Not to the top. Yeah, cut this down further here. All right, let's see. Let's... All right, how far did I have that down? Like all the way, right? And then this one over top of that. How long is it? I don't want those blank spots showing so much, so put it over here. I don't know. Should I go all the way across? Let's go all the way across, and then I can make it shorter if I want to. Let me see what that looks like. And let me cut a little bit of this off. Maybe I'll tear this on an angle. Oh, it won't tear on an angle. That's not how it's woven, Patty. Oh, yeah. I think I might need nourishment. I think those strips make everything go into the background. Everything. Yeah, I'll have to give it a whirl. Do I just need to sign up on their website or their whatever it is and have an account, and then I'll have to figure it out. There's probably a YouTube video on how to do it. Okay, I'm going to start gluing and end the suffering. I'm going to make a delicious dinner for myself tonight. I'm still in my mushroom kick. I'm going to saute a bunch of mushrooms, get them a little good and browned and flavorful, and in butter and olive oil. And then once they're just about to what I like, I'm going to throw in some garlic, grated garlic, um, freshly grated, of course, and some real thinly sliced shallot. Oh, this is thin. Watch this screw up the whole works here. That's okay. If it does, it's a piece of paper. You can't get that too worked up about it. As I'm cussing in my head. Sweet Mary. Okay, where was I? Garlic and onion. Or shallot. And then when they cook for a minute or two, I throw in a little bit of salt and then dump in some white wine. Oh, this is all goober. Well, you know what? We're going for texture. There she is right there. How about that? And this is too long. So we're just going to, oops, tear it off. We're going for the element of texture. Let's stick with that story, shall we? I watched YouTube. It's super easy. Going out for a fish Reuben coleslaw on marbled rye. I never heard of such an animal, but I'd be willing to try it. But back to the mushrooms. So when they're finished, I will add cook some pasta. Have you guys heard of Sfogliini? A brand of pasta where they invent new shapes of pasta that will hold the sauce and cheese and whatever you put on it. Well, and there's two that we buy all the time. One's called Vesuvius. It's named after a volcano because it kind of looks like that. It's really cool looking, actually. And it's got a really nice chew to it. And then the other one I think is called Waterfall. I'm just going to use the Waterfall tonight. And cook up the pasta. Throw the mushrooms on that baby. And then work with me, fabric. Lord have mercy. Throw some fresh grated Parmesan cheese on the top, a little bit of olive oil, some flake salt, and fresh parsley. Add them a little herb garden on the deck. And that's so good. That's really good together, in my humble opinion. Is that all I had on there? Was that finished? Let's see. So when are we coming over? It's good. If you like mushrooms, it's good. It's good. I'll have it done by, I'll take a little break when I go upstairs, regroup, and then I will probably have it done by 6 or 6:30. Get some laundry thrown in, one of those crazy bachelorette days. Wild party here at the parish tonight. Sweet Moses. I've done a lot easier things than that. I still like that circle. But I think it's going to be too much if we throw that over there. But see how those little holes, burnout holes, pick up this through it? Mama like that. Okay. Lord have mercy. I guess that's where we're ending up. I've done worse ones. And I've done better ones. Oh, that sounds good, Yvonne. I had leftover the other night. I made us we needed a quick dinner, and I made mushrooms the same way, but I had a sourdough baguette and cut off chunks, sliced it in half lengthwise, olive oiled it, put it in the oven, let it get brown and toasty, flip her over, and let the front of it get crunchy. Then take a fresh garlic clove when it comes out of the oven and hit it with that and a little bit of that flake salt, and then pile the mushrooms and Parmesan up on top of that. Oh, I'm getting hungrier by the minute. Oh, I love me some mushrooms. Wash out my brush. Who knows? Maybe later I'll sneak down here and throw that circle in there somewhere. And I'll never show you. All right, kids. I think I'm going to cut her off there before I do any more damage psychologically to myself. And see you another day. Actually, I might even come back tomorrow in the afternoon between P&M and Z, maybe. Your roast beef sandwich doesn't sound so good. Well, I don't know if you want to call this art or not. It needs some, maybe I need, pardon me, like go around this or this with a black or a gold pen or something. I don't know. It's not really grabbing me like, man, that looks so good. I love that one. I got a couple of those in this book, but that's not it. Just finish folding your laundry. This one, I did like how this one came out that we did last week. There's a couple other ones in here. That one's not bad. That one's not bad. I like that one. I like that one. I really like that one. See, it's got stripes in it. That's okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. That was just a bunch of scraps I had laying around where I was making those postcards and had all these pieces laying around. That's not bad. I don't know if you can see the little golden pictographs in the circle. That's one of Robin's printables. That one's not bad. That's a piece of Tim Holtz fabric there. That one's not bad. This is fabric, this black and white. Oops. What's happening there? I do not like that one at all. This one today might fall into, well, no, I like this one less than I like that one. I kind of like this one. It's kind of minimal, but I like that foil down the bottom there on that the holy paper. I like this one. I like that one. I really like this one. Oh, I like that. That one's okay. This didn't come out like I thought. But I do really like that one. That one's okay. That's one of those badass stencils. I like that one. Sometimes I wonder, what the hell was I thinking? more often than not. Okay, I'm going to let that lay open and dry. Go wash my brush, get some vittles, and I may see you tomorrow. But thanks for hanging in with me, and I appreciate all the mods. Stay safe. Do you know something, Dot, that I don't know? Always good advice, though. Oh, yeah, I have an upgrade now button on my Minicam, which I'm not going to do yet until I check out StreamYard. All right, kids. I'll see you later. Janet, go buy your books. Toodaloo.